we'll get into it. Hello everyone, my name is Tsufu, or Chewy for short, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about investing and why you should consider doing it now. And I say consider because I don't know how many of you guys actually take in the information we do about these speeches here, but if anything, you should think about it, have it in the back of your head, or just consider it. Investing at a young age, or as early as possible, is one of the best ways, and one of the best ways to make the most money as much as possible, or really free money. And a few things that I wanted to talk to you about today is why you should invest, some personal experience I've had with investing, and where to really start with investing. Now I want to ask you guys all a question, and I feel like everyone's hand should go up, because if not, it may be a bit concerning. How many of you guys in here have a bank account, really specifically a savings account? Perfect, that's what I like to see. We're all on a good start. I say this because you do earn interest on your savings account, but from just a few examples, you're not earning a lot. Something like Wells Fargo like mine, I earn 0.15, Bank of America, Fifth Third, and Truist, you're earning like 0.01, which is not a lot of interest. And I want to take these numbers and compare it to the inflation rate from the usinflationcalculator.com. I don't know if you guys can see this, but in the past couple of years, the inflation rates have been pretty high. In 2021, it was 7%. In 2022, it dropped down to 6.5, and in 2023, as if right now, it dropped down to 5. Meaning that overall, you're losing your value in your money in your savings account. You're just not making it. This is barely 1% compared to the 6, 7.5, and 5. Which leads me to my next point. What if there was something that could help your money grow in value over time? Let's talk about that. Stocks. Two really common or popular companies that I wanted to talk about, Apple and Nike. Oh, this is actually kind of bad. You guys can't see this number. But I wanted to talk to you guys about the stocks of Apple and Nike in the span of 20 years, or really my lifetime. In 2002, September 2002, I don't know if you guys can see this, but the stock value for Apple was 27 cents. 27 cents, not even a dollar. 10 years later, in 2012, it jumps up to $20.90, and then in 2022, it jumps up to $148.03. Now let's look at Nike. In 2002, it was $5.60. 10 years later, it jumps up to $24.37. And then in 2022, it was $109.69. Now in these graphs, you can see that there are a bit ups and downs, but there is one general pattern, that overall, your money or value will increase. As you can see, it's going up here, and it's going up here. Now stocks are very confusing. They're a lot, and it takes a lot of research and time for a beginner, especially like me. So let's talk about some other investments that you can consider. From here, in the middle, you can see a list of investments from the Nerd Wallet, such as stocks, bonds, ETFs, CDs, mutual funds, all of that. But one of the biggest ones I wanted to talk about is something called a high yield savings account, which is exactly what it sounds like. A savings account where you're actually making more than 0.15 interest. And here from Investopia.com, you can see a list of the best high yield savings accounts, which we'll get into later, but not right now. And on this left side over here is actually a screenshot of one of my friend's investments. You can see the range of different investments that he's doing, not only domestic in the United States, but also internationals. He's doing stocks, stock funds, and even bonds, which is pretty good because one of the things you want to keep in mind with investing is that you want to spread out your money. You don't want to just stick with Apple and hope that you're going to make the most money off of them. You want to spread it out, make the most money as much as possible. Now I do need a calculator for this part. We all know this equation. Can I write on this?
Yes.
P1 plus R over, actually that's supposed to be N, times N to the T power. Can someone give me a number for P? Any number?
5.
5? Gotcha. 1 plus was your interest rate of 3.7%, which will later turn to 0.375. We'll put the number of 12, meaning you'll earn monthly interest every year. Well, yeah, 12 here. Can someone give me a time in years? Anytime? 6 years, perfect. Now, will anyone with a calculator solve this equation real quick? 5 being how much you're actually depositing into that bank account, and 6 being your years, and your interest rate of 3.75.
I'm taking a picture of the equation. Somebody else is doing it.
Yeah, see, those calculators gotta help better than the iPhone ones.
So I can get one of those, what is it, the other kind of calculator? Fancy ones.
Well, if we wanna simplify this to help, the parentheses is, what's inside the parentheses is 1.003125.
It's 6.26.
6.26, you said?
She got the CI
Oh, yeah, good.
Okay. Now, it is only $5 over the span of 6 years. You have that interest, which turns to $1.26. But theoretically, if you put something in like 500, 300, more money, more value. Now, here comes my favorite part, what I wanted to talk about mostly. In the middle here is actually a screenshot of a high yield savings account that I'm currently doing. I invested $500 in initially, but I am depositing currently $50 every month investing in, and I've actually earned $1.75 interest, free money. And I actually withdrew $250, which was half the amount, because there was a very popular company that just opened up a new high yield savings account. Does anyone know what that is? Or who they were? Apple. They earned 4.15%. This bank account gives me 3.75. And on the left and the right are screenshots of what both me and my friend are currently investing. By the way, he has invested $16,000 and he's only 19. I'm 20. It's a whole year ahead of me with money. Me, I've only earned $76, and I plan to do investing more in the summer. But I know it doesn't look like much, but I showed you those graphs earlier. Over time, those values, well, specifically these values, will increase over time. Just give it that time. Now, one of the biggest questions you may be asking is where and how do you start? And one of the things I do want to tell you guys is that it is your money, your choices. The internet has many resources, YouTube videos, blogs, websites. You can look up a lot of people. I've watched Ali Adol something on YouTube. It was a 30-minute video. I didn't think I was gonna like it. That's actually who got me invested. But you're the one that's working those shifts. You're making that money. Make your choices based on what you like, what fits you, and what fits your current financial situations. Just like me and everyone else in here, we're very different. We have different interests and different financial situations. Now, as I said earlier, investing at a young age or as early as possible is one of the best ways to make the most amount of money. It really is just free. There's 2 steps: putting your money into a bank account and letting it sit there. Now, the sitting there is the hardest part because it does take a bit of time, and a few years is probably your best option to make the most amount of money compared to like a few months. But there are different types of investments, like I showed you: stocks, bonds, ETFs. High yield savings account, probably one of the best. I do recommend that for you guys who are in college. You want to get that money for your apartment after you graduate. But think about money for the long run. Somewhere where you want to pay your debt off, buy a house, travel the world. I think we all want to do that. I told my mom I was going to be in the Bahamas one day. It ain't going to pay itself. So I kind of need the money for that. And I think there's one more thing I want to tell you guys with investing, and that is to not touch your money. Let it sit there, let it grow. It is going to take some time, a few years, and that is completely okay. How many of you guys are sophomores in here? Okay, perfect. We graduate in 2 years. You're not going to do anything big in 2 years. Let your money sit there, let it grow, whatever it is. You do have short-term and long-term goals. Long-term being where you want to build your house, short-term being in the next 2 years where you want to get your apartment. But most importantly, really, don't touch your money, let it sit there and grow. There are my references.